Welcome back to our class. Again, this is Teacher Kina, and today we're going to continue our topic fraction, but this time with the subtopic equivalent fractions. Okay, we will learn equivalent fractions. Okay, there's so much to learn about fraction, and I want this to give more time on this because I want everybody to catch up and I don't want anybody to get behind. Okay, so we'll go slowly and smoothly on this. All right, so are you ready? Okay, the objectives of this lesson is you will be able to recognize and generate equivalent fractions. Okay. Do you know what is equivalent fractions? Okay, that's not a problem if you don't understand yet. We'll do it. We will understand it later. And find fractions of quantities. That means we're going to learn how to find the values of fractions based on a quantity. Like for example, if you want to buy uh, 1/4 of rice and a kilo of rice costs 50 baht. So how much do you have to pay? Or how much is 1/4 of 50 baht? All right. So that's finding the fractions of quantities. How much is 1/8 or what is 1/8 of 50? What is 1/2 of 90? Like that. Okay. And we will convert fractions to decimal and decimal to fraction. But of course, I'm talking about the decimals in the power of 10, 100, and 1000 only. Okay, we'll start from the very basic. Okay, so let's proceed with the keywords. These are the words that we're going to use often in this lesson. The first one here is fraction, of course. This is our topic. So we will use this quite often. Fraction means a part of something or a whole. Okay, we discussed this one already in our past topic, and fraction is always less than 1. Of course, except for a mixed fraction or a mixed number, because there is a whole number and a fraction in it. So we cannot say that a mixed number or a mixed fraction is less than 1 because there is a whole number. All right, so next is equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are the fractions which have same value even though they may look different. If you look at them, if you look at the fractions, they look different numbers, they look different fractions, but actually these equivalent fractions have the same values. They are actually equal in values. Next is convert. Convert means to change in form. We'll be using this convert since one of our topic to discuss in this lesson is converting decimal to fraction and fraction to decimal. So it's important for you to understand convert. Convert means to change something in form, but the value is still the same. Okay, decimal means a number less than 1. Okay, it's the same with fraction, right? They are less than 1. That is why fraction and decimal can be, they're convertibles in both, vice versa, because they are almost the same. But the fraction has numerator and denominator, while the decimal has a point. All right. Now, odd one out, that means does not fit in the group or different. Like, for example, I say, I give you a group of numbers and then I'll say, choose the odd one out. That means you choose the number that does not belong to the group, okay, or the different one. Or if we're talking about, let's say, proper fractions, okay, you choose the odd one out. That means if all of them are proper fractions and there is one improper fraction, then that is the odd one out. All right. Now, finding the equivalent fractions, we can actually use either to multiply or to divide only. No subtraction and no addition. For finding the equivalent fractions, we will only use multiplication and division. Okay, let's try to find the equivalent fractions of the fraction 6/10. 6/10. Okay. Here's the rule. Whatever you multiply to the numerator, you also multiply it to the denominator. That is how to get the equivalent fraction. Let's try to multiply 2, the easiest. Okay, multiply 2 above, multiply 2 below. So 6 times 2 equals 12. And 10 times 2 equals 20. So that means 6/10. Oh, that means 6/10 is equal to 12/20. So we're going to list down the equivalent fractions of 6/10 on the box. Okay, here on the right. So we'll include here first the 12/20. Okay, 12/20. Okay, let's try another one. What if we use the factor? What factor do you want to use? Factor 3. Okay, let's multiply the numerator with 3 and we multiply the denominator with 3. So 6 times 3 equals 18. Okay, now 10 times 3 equals 30. Okay, so that means 18/30 is an equivalent fraction of 6/10. Okay, let's find more. What else? Let's try 4. Let's multiply 6 to 4 and 10 to 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 10 times 4 is 40. That means 24/40 is an equivalent fraction of 6/10. Okay, how about divide? Let's try to divide. Okay, so that's how to multiply, how to use multiplication in finding the equivalent fraction of fraction. Okay, now let's try divide. Actually, it's just the same, but of course it's division. So we do, we reduce the number. When we multiply, that means we expect for a bigger number. But when we divide, we expect for a smaller number because we are dividing it, we are reducing it. Okay, so let's try division. Whatever we divide in the numerator, we divide in the denominator also. So let's try to divide 6 divided by 2. Okay, why not 3? Can we try 3? Okay, let's try later on. 6 divided by 2 and then 10 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 equals 3 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that means 3/5 is also an equivalent fraction of 6/10. Okay, so let's try 3. Can we use 3 here? Okay, let's try to erase this one first so it will be clear. All right, now let's try 3. Can we divide 3 here? 6 divided by 3 is 2. 10 divided by 3 is 3.333333 and so on. Actually, we cannot do that. No. Why? Remainder is not allowed. Okay? In finding equivalent fractions, remainder is not allowed. No remainder. So that means we cannot use 3 to divide. We cannot use the factor 3 in finding the equivalent fraction of 6/10. Okay, we cannot divide 3 because 3 has remainder when we divide it with 10. Okay, so remainder is not allowed. Now let's proceed. Now let's identify equivalent fractions here. Okay, is 1/3 equivalent to 3/9? What do you think? Yes or no? Now to know that, let's try to multiply or divide. Okay, but this time let's try multiplication. So let's try to multiply. What are you going to multiply to 1 to get the answer 3? Of course, 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. Now let's see if we multiply 3 over here, if we got the same answer. 3 times 3 equals 9. So is it correct? Yes. If it's accurate, if it's correct, if it fits, then that means they are equal. All right, they are equivalent fractions. 1/3 and 3/9 are equivalent fractions. Okay, let's try divide. How are you going to divide? Do still the same, but this time no more multiplication. Oops. Where's my eraser? I need to eraser. Okay, let's try to divide. How are you going to divide? Of course, when you divide, the answer should be reducing. So we will start from the bigger number. Okay, 3 divided by 3, not 1 divided by 3, not 3 divided by 1 either. Let's start with 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So it is correct. All right, that's how to use multiplication and division in finding equivalent fractions. Now let's try another example, 6/8 and 11/16. Are these fractions equal or are these fractions equivalent? Equivalent means equal. Okay, let's try. Let's start with multiplication. What will you multiply to? Okay, here's the trick. Always start with the denominator. When you multiply or divide, always start with the denominator. So here, what are you going to multiply to 8 to get the answer 16? 8 times 2. Of course, 8 times 2 equals 16. Now, since we used factor 2 here, let's also use factor 2 above. So 6 times 2 equals 12. It's supposed to be 12, but since this is 11, then that means 11/16 is not an equivalent fraction of 6/8. Okay, did you get it? Even if you use divide here, they're not equal. Even if you use divide, you'll still get the same answer. 11 divided by 2 cannot, because there'll be a remainder. So that means 6/8 is not equal to 11/16. Okay, so let's try another one. 4/12 and 1/3. Are they equal? Okay, let's see. We can either multiply or divide. Okay, let's start with multiplication. What will you multiply to 4? Whatever you multiply above, you multiply below. Okay, but I prefer starting from the bottom. I mean, starting from the denominator. So what do you multiply to 3? Of course, you will not multiply to 12 because the other number is smaller. So it should be 12 divided by what? But since I said we will try to multiply, so we will start from 3. 3 times what? What factor to come up with 12? So 3 times 4 equals 12. So since you multiply 4 here, We multiply 4 above also. 1 times 4 equals 4. Is it correct? Yes, that means they are equal. 4/12 is equal to 1/3. Now let's try division. Okay, to divide, we do the same thing. Oh, okay. 4 divided by 4 equals 1. Oops. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. All right. So that's how to find equivalent fractions, and same time we can identify fractions by using multiplication and division also. So how are we going to identify equivalent fractions here? So as I've said in our keyword, find the odd one out. Okay, in this fraction, where's the odd one out? Where's the odd one? Let's pull it out. Okay, to identify equivalent fractions, we still do the same. You multiply and divide, or you just use multiply. Here's the trick. Start on the fraction with the smallest denominator. As I've said, you always start with the denominator and start with the smallest denominator. Okay, so the smallest denominator here is 3. So we'll start with 3. 3 times 3 times what factor equals 15? 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. Now let's see. 1 times 5 equals 5. Are they equal? Yes, they are equal. Now let's try 3 and 10. Can we multiply anything to 3 that will equal to 10? There is nothing. How about, so since we cannot multiply anything that there's no multiple, 10 is not a multiple of 3, so that means, that means 1/3 is not equal to 3/10. Okay, let's try to see this. What are you going to multiply to 3 to get the answer 18? 6. Okay, 3 times 6 equals 18. So multiply above times 6. 1 times 6 equals 6. So that means they are equal. 1/3 is equal to 6/10. So that means 5/15, 1/3, okay, 5/15, 1/3, and 6/18 are equivalent fractions. So which one is the odd one? It's the 3/10. Easy, yeah? Okay, let's try another example. Okay, here, let's try from the smallest denominator. The smallest denominator is in here is, where's my, okay, it's 1/2. It's 2. All right. Now let's try where we're going to start. 2 times 6. No, 2 times 3 equals 6. Now let's try above here. 2 times 3 equals, oh no, 1 times 3 equals 3. So they are, wow, correct. Now how about here? 2 times, what will you multiply? What factor? 2 times 5 equals 10, and then 1 times 5, okay, 1 times 5 equals 5. Or even if you divide it, 5 divided by 5 equals 1. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. Okay. So that means they are equal. Now let's try here, and here. Okay, can I erase this one? So there'll be no so much, okay, disruptions. Okay, 2 times what equals 100? What factor? 2 times 50 equals 100. Now you multiply above 50. 1 times 50 equals 50. So that means they are equal. Really good. Okay, even this, if you try, they are equal. 10 times 10 equals 100. 5 times 10 equals 50. Okay, let's try here and here. What are you going to multiply the 2 that is equal to 13? Nothing. You cannot multiply it to 6 because 2 times 6 is 12. And if it's 7, 2 times 7 is 14. So 13 is not included. So that means the odd one out here, add one out, it's 7 over 13. Right. So see, it's easy to identify fractions when you multiply and divide. All right. Another example. Let's start from the smallest denominator. And here the smallest denominator is 5. So we will start with 5. 5 times what factor? 5 times 3 equals 15. Now you multiply the same above. 1 times 3 equals 3. So they are equal. Okay, how about here? 5 times 2 equals 10. 1 times 2 equals 2. Correct. So they are equal. How about 5 times, what will you multiply to 5? That is equal to 40. 5 times 8 equals 40. And 1 times 8 equals, oh, it's not 9. It's supposed to be 8. So that means 9 over 40 is an odd one. Okay, let's try to see this. 5 times 10 equals, oh, 5 times, sorry, it's not 10. 5 times 20. Okay. 5 times 20 equals, okay, 100. Now you multiply above. 1 times 20 equals 20. So they are equal. So the odd one out here is 9, 40. Okay, 9 out of 40. That's the odd one out. That means is not an equal fraction of 1/5. All right, easy, yeah? Now find the missing number to make equivalent fraction. Now we do the same thing. We multiply below, whatever we multiply in the denominator, we multiply in the numerator. So in here, what will you multiply to 3 to come up with 9? 3 times 3 equals 9. Now you do the same above with the numerator. 1 times 3 equals 3. So that means the missing number is 3 to find the equivalent fraction of 1/3, which is 3/9. Okay, let's try this one. The missing numbers are the denominators. So what are we going to do? Let's try multiplying 2, what factor are we going to use? 2 times 2 equals 4. Now let's try to make any number and multiply it to 2. Let's say 3. 3 times 2 equals 6. So that means 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Now let's try, actually we can try another one. We can make another one here. If we're going to write there 4, then that will be a different fraction. 2/4 is equal to 4 times 2 equals 8. So 2/4 is equal to 4/8. Easy, yeah? Okay, let's try last one. What do you want to multiply? Let's say denominator 6. Okay, 6 times 2 equals 12. So that means 2/6 is equal to 4/12. Understand? Okay, let's try this one. Oh, one numerator and one denominator is missing. So what are you going to do here? Let's try to find a solution by doing the same thing we tried to. Let's try to multiply. 3 times what? 3 times, let's say 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. And if we multiply here 3, what are you going to divide? 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Okay, so that means the missing numbers here, the numerator 9 and the denominator 8. What if I try 2? Okay, let's see. What if I wrote here 2? Will I get a correct answer? Okay, 3 times 2 equals 6. Okay, 24. Okay, since we are going to a smaller number, then that means we are reducing. So if we are reducing, that means we will divide. So we will change this times over here to divide. Okay, let's see. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Right? So that 3/12 is equal to 6/24. Alright, easy, yeah? Whatever number you try, as long as you multiply the same number, you use the same factor in the numerator and denominator, either you divide it or you multiply it, you got the same answer, and that is correct. Alright, now let's have another one. The missing denominator is over here. So let's see. Let's try to multiply. What are you going to multiply to 2 to get the answer 5? Do you have any number? Nothing. But since we cannot multiply anything from 2 to get the answer 5, then we cannot proceed to the denominator. So if we cannot do this here, let's try this here. We cannot find any number, any factor with the numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator, then let's use this on the side. Okay, let's see. 5 times what equals 20? Or 20 divided by what factor equals 5? Of course, 4. 5 times 4 equals 20. Or 20 divided by 4 is 5. So since we use 4 over here, then we will also use 4 over here. Okay. 2 times 4 equals 8. So that's the answer. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So 2 eighths is equal to 520. Easy, right? Okay. Is this the last one? I'm not sure. Okay, let's find the missing number again. What are you going to multiply to 6 to get the answer of 10? Nothing. So as I've said, if we cannot use this way, let's try the other way. What will you multiply to 5 to get the answer 10? 5 times 2 equals 10, or 10 divided by 2 equals 5. Now let's try it the other way, on the other side. 6. Are you going to times or divide? Of course, we're looking for a smaller number here because 5 is smaller than 10. Of course, the numerator here should also be smaller than the denominator. So we will divide. 6 divided by 2 equals, of course, it's 3. Let's erase this one here. Okay, so it's 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so 3/6 is equal to 5/10. Easy, right? Okay, so here's a scenario. 1 kilogram of rice is 40 baht. How much do I have to pay if I will only buy 1/4 kilogram of it? So the given is 1 kilogram is equal to 40 baht. Problem, how much is 1/4 kilogram of rice? So let's put the solution here. 1/4 of 40. 40 is the whole number. That is 1 kilogram. That whole number. 40 is the whole, and we're looking for the value of 1/4. How much is 1/4 of 40? How much are we going to pay if we want to buy 1/4 of rice? If 1 kilogram of rice is 40 baht. 40 divided by 4, and that is 10. Now 10 times 1 equals 10. So the answer is 10. Easy. That's the steps. Divide and then multiply. Let's try another example. Find the value of fraction. What is 1/2 of 50? 50 divided by 2 equals 25. Now 25 times 1 equals 25. Easy, yeah? So that means 1/2 of 50 is 25. It's correct. Half means 0.5. Half of 50 is 25. It's correct. Now, let's find the 2/5 of 60. Same thing. 60 divided by 5 equals 60 divided by 5 equals 12, and then you multiply it to 2. So 12 times 2 equals 24. Right. Now let's try another example. 3/4 of 160. So 160 divided by 4 equals 40. Now 40 times 3 equals 120. That means 3/4 of 160. 160 is the whole. 3/4 of that is 120. Now let's try this one below. 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5. Now 7.5 times 1 equals 7.5. That means half of 15 is 7.5. It's correct, right? Now here we do the same, but here we are going to find the whole. Okay, this is the one missing, not this one. So how are we going to do that? Actually, the procedure is still the same, but there is just a little twist. Okay, to find the answer, you interchange the numerator and the denominator of the given fraction. So that means you put 3 below and 4 above, like this. Okay, we interchange. 4 becomes the numerator now and 3 becomes the denominator. And then proceed to the same step. 30 divided by 3 equals 10. Now 10 times 40 10 times 4 equals 40. So that means if 4/3 of if 4/3 is 30, then that means the whole is 40. Okay, let's try another one. Let's interchange 2 and 5. 2 becomes the denominator and 5 becomes the numerator. Okay, now let's proceed with division. 60 divided by 2 equals 30. Now 30 times 5 equals 150. So that's how to find the whole. Remember, if you're looking for the whole, you interchange first the fraction, I mean the numerator and the denominator, before you do the same step. Right? Alright, so that's all for today. I hope you understand. Okay, so that's all for today. If you forgot anything, you can replay anytime the video, and hope to see you again next time. Bye!